Good morning. Kenny, can you hear me? Good. It's good to be here this morning. First thing I'd like to say, and I'd like you to participate in it, is how great is the praise and worship band? That was rolling. Last week we had a fundraiser at church, and I'd like to thank two groups of people, many of whom overlap. I suppose that in math would be the intersection of those sets. There's the group that gave goods to be sold, and then there's the group that gave money to buy those goods. There's folks also, I need to add this in, there's folks also that contributed towards a wonderful lunch that we had last week. And last Sunday afternoon, we were able to raise approximately $6,800. If any of you have noticed this morning, the little climbing man is further up the lighthouse. The paving will commence soon, I'm sure. But thank you for contributing goods. Thank you for contributing money. Thank you for giving in this church. Since I'm up here, I have to do one other plug, and it's for giving too. In the past, we've had those fundraisers for the food pantry, and we've not had a fundraiser for the food pantry for about 2 years. And the reason we've not had a food pantry fundraiser is because many of you are so steadfast in your giving to the food pantry. We appreciate every dollar we get, and you'll notice every time we do announcements, the final announcement is don't forget your dollar for the food pantry, and that's in honor of Ms. Joanne Ganaway, who said, you know, all of us have a dollar. Let's just give a dollar every Sunday to the food pantry. And so it's just become a byword. Don't forget your dollar for the food pantry. We have people who give us money irregularly. We have people who give us money routinely. Almost every Sunday, there are a group of people who hand me money for the food pantry. And we thank every one of you for every dollar of it. Now, how the food pantry works. You know, another thing about doing talks a little bit infrequently at Lighthouse is we've often got a new crowd. You know, there's new folks in here who may not have heard this. If you have, I'll remind you of it. But here's how the food pantry works. If you want some food, tell someone that you need a box of food. It can be for you. It can be for someone else. We don't care who it's for. If someone needs food, anyone needs food, let's feed them. Amen. That is a mission program that we can do right here in our community, in this church community. We don't have to travel to faraway places. We don't have to learn second languages. We don't have to convert our money to something else. We can support this mission right here. When we started coming to Lighthouse, one of the first things that Brother Doug Dillard talked with me about was the fact that as a non-denominational church, we have to look for opportunities to give. Denominations have systems in place that handle missions. Just take, for instance, the Baptist Church or the Methodist Church. Both of those denominations have huge organizations that have been built to carry out missions in foreign lands. As a non-denominational church and not having that denominational umbrella, we really don't have any kind of system in place for foreign missions or for local missions. We kind of have to go look for those opportunities. Now, since we've been here at Lighthouse, I found that those opportunities are not scarce. There's plenty of opportunities. In fact, there's a group of 7 or 8 from Lighthouse who are going to Guatemala next Saturday. And if you've not contributed to their trip and you feel like you need to contribute to missions, give someone at Lighthouse money, put it in the offering holders marked Guatemala, and it'll find its way to the right folks. They've sold T-shirts to raise money for their trip, part of their fundraising. Danielle gave me my shirt last week and apologized that it was pink. Coral would be a more appropriate color description, and it had to go into the laundry last night. It's being worn, Danielle. We're here today on a holiday weekend, and it's a somber holiday weekend. It's not a. Well, we'll go into more about what it's not in a few minutes, but it's a holiday that was established at the close of the Civil War by General Logan, who issued General Order Number 11 for the Grand Army of the Republic in 1868. And he said that there should be a decoration day to strew flowers and to otherwise decorate the graves of those who had fallen in the Great War just past. Last Sunday, actually it was May 30th, was set aside as the day for Decoration Day. And that tradition continued of Decoration Day. When I was growing up, it was Decoration Day. We didn't have Memorial Day. We had Decoration Day. And then in 1971, and that's really not been that long ago, there's a few of us here who could vaguely remember that. I graduated from high school that year. The rest of you just need to read about it. But in 1971, Memorial Day was designated as the last Monday in May. And it was designated as a Monday holiday in order to give people 3-day weekends. And the local tradition of Decoration Day continued. And it continues to this day that a Sunday prior to Memorial Day is set aside as Decoration Day for all the graves. Almost all public cemeteries hold Memorial Day services or Decoration Day services. But Memorial Day is not about everybody who died. There are a number of things that Memorial Day is not. Memorial Day is not about those people who served in the military. Thank you for your service, but this day is not about you. Veterans Day is about you, and that's in November 11th. Memorial Day is not the best day of the year to buy a mattress. Although it may be, that's not what it is. It's not the day the pool opens. It's not the official start of summer. Memorial Day is a day for us to honor everyone who has fallen in service to this country. That we can stand here and sit here and do what we're doing because these brave people have given their lives that we can be free. If you're a flag raiser, proper flag protocol for tomorrow, which is Memorial Day, is this. When you raise the flag in the morning, you raise the flag full staff. Immediately lower it to half staff. Leave it at half staff until noon. At noon, raise it to full staff. We have earned the right to have the flag at full staff on Memorial Day.
Amen.
In 2000, believing that Memorial Day had become somewhat forgotten, somewhat lackadaisically observed, Congress enacted the National Moment of Remembrance. Tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, please participate in the National Moment of Remembrance. You may observe this moment of remembrance in any way you prefer, but a prayer would be nice. Just for a moment, stop and remember all those people who have given everything they had, that we can stand tomorrow and thank them for it. Amen. In John 15:13, Jesus said, "Greater love has no man." I'm sorry. We'll rewind this, okay? In John 15:13, Jesus said, "Greater love has no one than this, that he lay down his life for his friends." And that's exactly what these people have done for us, their friends.
Amen.
There are some secular quotations that are relevant to Memorial Day, and I would like to read 4. And listen to the content and not to who the author might be. President John Kennedy said, "Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and success of liberty." Reverend Billy Graham said, "Courage is contagious. When a brave man takes a stand, the spines of others are stiffened." General George S. Patton said, "It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men lived."
Amen.
And President Bill Clinton said, "There is nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured by what is right with America." And now I'll start my 10-minute talk. Actually, I think I've about used up my 10 minutes, but I do have a whole book here that I was going to read to you, but I'm only going to read a couple of passages, just a couple of short passages. I'm going to tell you a bit of a little story, and then many of you know my brother John. And my brother John has esophageal cancer, and we're praying that my brother John is healed. And we believe that my brother John will be healed. And my brother John has asked that people pray Hebrews 11 for him, because he knows that in order to be healed, he needs faith that he will be healed, and he needs to stand on that faith. And we've all, as Christians, we have that foundation of faith. And we have to stand on that foundation of faith. In Hebrews 10, starting at verse 35, Paul wrote, "So do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what he has promised. For in just a very little while, he who is coming will come and will not delay. But my righteous one will live by faith. If he shrinks back, I will not be pleased with him. But we are not of those who shrink back and are destroyed, but of those who believe and are saved." And beginning chapter 11, continues, "Now faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. This is what the ancients were commended for. By faith we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what is visible. And the writer of Hebrews continues with the Faith Hall of Fame and lists from the patriarchs forward many people who persevered in faith. And then concludes with verses 39 through 40. These were all commended for their faith, yet none of them received what had been promised. God had planned something better for us, so that only together with us would they be made perfect. Thank you very much.